At banks. I'm talking
Mm,
much broader. I
mm.
think a lot of the banks that we've spoken to are already engaged in DeFi.
This is a physical representation to show you guys that these institutions can right now in the very moment participate in looping strategies in the DeFi ecosystem. Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video breakdown. This is going to be part 2 of the previous video breakdown where we discussed and talked about the transformative wave that DeFi utility is bringing to these digital assets, and turning our idle digital assets into passive income generating assets is going to be the new sexy, and how we can participate in these new strategies, these DeFi yield generating strategies alongside financial institutions, and how institutions are already not only interested in this, but able to do this right now in a regulated, secure fashion in the moment. So with that being said, in today's video breakdown, we're going to dive into the fundamentals. We're going to go over some newly developed and announced things that have taken place from Squad Labs. In the previous video breakdown, which if you have not seen, go back and watch. We were listening to this gentleman, Garrett Harper, who is the head of business development and comms at Squad Labs, and this other gentleman from Bridge talk about this, new utility that DeFi is bringing to the game, right? So let's jump in and let me share with you guys how not only can we as retail market participants, start to incorporate these looping strategies, these lending, these borrowing, these yield generation strategies into our portfolio, but how institutions on a level playing field can do the same exact thing. Keeping in mind the very first video clip that I played in the first part of today's video breakdown of Christine Moy on stage talking with, Robbie Mitchnick from BlackRock and Michael Sonnenschein, the COO of Securitize, on how she is going to be incorporating these looping strategies in her DeFi portfolio through her traditional bank account and earning yield up until the very last moment in which she spends her money.
What that means is that every last penny of my earnings is fully invested in yielding without me actually having to do anything. And then, if I'm having Nobu at lunch, and basically I use my Securitize debit card that's connected to my Securitize wallet, basically like, okay, here's like $100 to Nobu, that's an automatic swap of $100 out of my BUIDL into US dollars, into USDC off ramp, like CU0 hash, off ramp to pay Nobu. And then essentially like that means not only is every penny of my earnings deployed, it's deployed up until the last second of which I actually spend it. Now,
well, we right now in this very moment can already do this. Okay, so this is Squad Labs. This is squad.xyz. This is their website. And I just want to thoroughly read through some of these things and then show you guys how the exact same thing that we as retail participants can partake in, institutions are already able to do. So if we come over here, this is their website. This is their newly launched feature. So we're going to be jumping into one of Squad Labs products, and this is going to be their Fuse product. So if you come over to the Squad Labs website and you hover over products right here and you scroll right down here, you can see the tab Fuse. So clicking on that takes you to this page. And here we're just going to thoroughly read through some of the highlights. Your money upgraded, right? And you can see, obviously, of course, a Visa connected debit card. This is massive, right? And it says Fuse isn't another crypto wallet. It's a personal finance app powered by the same smart accounts that secure billions of leading teams building on Solana, now available for everyone. And I only want to focus on a couple of key different interesting areas because I don't want to make this video too lengthy or too long. I just want to briefly go over what is available to us and show you guys how institutions are already doing this. So first, we're going to cover Fuse Earn, where it says you're able to earn yield on your stablecoins with our DeFi integration. So we'll get into a couple of fundamentals surrounding that. Then it mentions staking. Earn Solana rewards through direct or liquid staking, right? So we're going to get into some documentation surrounding that. And then it just goes on to mention enterprise grade security that fits in your pocket, maximizing security, minimizing friction. And then down here, it mentions your assets, your control, and that with Fuse, you have complete control over your assets. Your ownership is enforced by Solana's global network of 1,000 plus validators, not by a centralized exchange or a trusted third party. And so if we just thoroughly read through the Fuse Earn real fast, so we're going to go up to the blog tab and just type in Fuse Earn. And what it does is it takes you over to these fundamentals. So earn stablecoin yield with Fuse Earn. Fuse Earn is now live. Fuse Earn provides a curated wallet native experience to earn yield on your stablecoins without leaving the Fuse app. Keep in mind what the gentleman from the Stellar Development Foundation sitting next to David Schwartz said on stage.
Stablecoins we're going to see, the more competition there's going to be around, how much yield and how is it distributed to the users. And so I think this place where we're at right now, where there are a bunch of stablecoins and functionally they're doing the exact same thing, I don't think that's going to stay for long. And, people are realizing, I made this equivalent for like a checking account earlier. If you're just holding dollars and not getting yield on them, you're effectively losing money, right? So if you want to be a participant in the on-chain economy, you want to have a way to park your money in a way that generates yield. Yield-bearing stable coins are the way to do that. And there's going to be a lot of competition with that space.
We've partnered with Drift. I highlighted that in green. That's going to play an important role in just a second. As I show you guys, financial institutions are partnering with the same companies and organizations as the first DeFi partner for Fuse Earn, allowing Fuse users to earn yield via Drift's lend and borrow money market. Together with Drift, we are sponsoring Drift account creation for the first 1,000 deposits made with Fuse Earn. And it just goes on to continue. So what is Fuse Earn? Fuse Earn provides a curated wallet native experience to earn yield on stablecoins. This new tab in your Fuse wallet showcases curated yield opportunities from partner products, allowing you to deposit directly within the Fuse app. Fuse Earn keeps your assets shielded with Fuse's programmable security and eliminates risks associated with external phishing links and malicious websites. So it is to some degree secure, right? If we continue to read thoroughly through this, then it goes on to talk about Fuse Earn and how it expands with this Lulu Protect feature, right? So back in 2024, we introduced Fuse Earn in partnership with Drift, a feature that lets you earn stablecoin yield without leaving the Fuse app. Lulu's Protect and its overview. Here it goes on to say, Lulu is a savings platform that automatically monitors market conditions and rebalances your stablecoin deposits across 4 integrated platforms. These are important. I highlighted them in green: Camino, Drift, MarginFi, and Save. The Fuse Earn integration uses protected deposits, which is one of the 2 options alongside boosted deposits in Lulu's newest product, Lulu Protect. So I don't want to read too much thoroughly through this, but I just wanted to show you guys that this earning feature, where you can earn yield on your idle capital, your idle cash, if it's sitting in stablecoins, is possible for you. Now we're going to head back over here. Keep in mind the 2 green highlights, Camino and Drift. That is going to play an important role in just a second, and we will come back to that to show you guys that institutions and large players in this space are partnering with the same organizations. Now we're going to get into the staking features that this platform offers. Earn SOL rewards through direct or liquid staking, right? So if we come over here, again, searching on the blog tab, and we look up liquid staking on Fuse. Well, here is the introductory to that. And it says, today we are announcing Fuse SOL. Fuse SOL is the native liquid staking token, or LST, that earns staking rewards and provides instant liquidity and abstracts Solana transaction fees. So if you have no idea what a liquid staking token is, or how to utilize or implement liquid stake tokens into your strategy, then again, head over to CYPRXtrading.com, tap into the Wealth 28 Club, and you guys can physically see us not only break down what a liquid staking token is, but how we're participating in liquid staking token strategies, right? Utilizing a liquid stake version of a token to go out and participate in DeFi yield strategies while still earning yield on the original asset. So anyways, this goes on to read, SOL is Solana's native asset that can be staked with validators to secure the network and earn staking rewards. Staking generates passive income, earning yield on your Solana. But here's the catch. When you stake your SOL, it is temporarily locked up and can't be used for trading, spending, or transferring. It's like putting your money in a time deposit to earn yield. Liquid staking tokens, however, solve this liquidity dilemma by creating a tokenized representation of staked SOL that accrues staking rewards and provides instant liquidity. It's similar to a bank giving you a special card representing your time deposit that you could trade or use, while your original deposit keeps earning interest. So again, if you want to see how we're already doing this in DeFi earning strategies, head over to CYPRXtrading.com, tap into the Wealth 28 Club. The combination of attractive yields and enhanced liquidity has driven rapid liquid staking token adoption on Solana, with their combined market capitalization now exceeding $4 billion. So this is pretty dang serious, right? Keep in mind what Christine Moy said, where she went on to talk about earning yield up until the very last moment that she spends. Well, guess what? With this Fuse platform, you can do the same exact thing because they offer you a Visa stable card, a Fuse card. Here it says you can spend stable coins anywhere. So literally up until the very last moment in which you spend your hard-earned income, you can be participating in yield generation strategies. It says we're excited to announce the official launch of Fuse card in partnership with Bridge. Fuse card is a virtual asset prepaid card that lets you spend stablecoins directly from your Fuse wallet, upgrading your wallet experience from spend on chain to spend anywhere. You can spend USDC anywhere. Visa is accepted. That is huge. That means all over the world. Integrated into Fuse on one app to secure and earn and spend. There's no top-up fees or card transaction fees, and its smart account is enforced spending limits to protect your card balance. Fuse card right now, unfortunately, is currently available by invite code only and only available to US users. So sorry for any of my European, UK, or anybody outside of the US jurisdiction that watches my content. This is not available to you right now. But it says we're actively working to expand availability to more countries later this year, which is huge. So look out for those announcements, right? If you're interested in things like this. Regardless, you should still be interested in learning more about this. So that way, when it becomes available to you or when you're comfortable to utilize these types of strategies, you can do so. Now, let me full circle. So I've shown you guys now from our retail side of things, how we can participate in these looping strategies, in these DeFi yield generation strategies. And I just want to show you all a real quick video breakdown of an individual representative on stage mentioning and talking about how institutions will be participating in these DeFi looping strategies.
When we speak to financial institutions, they have a keen interest to participate in what's going on in DeFi, or probably better said, sort of the on-chain markets. DeFi has its trade-offs. Everything in life has trade-offs. This is the one thing I've learned in the 10 years of running a technology company, right? So what are the trade-offs that you can be okay with by participating on-chain? And also, if you're on-chain, you have to create these products that are composable and that can be put into DeFi strategies, can be looped, can be used in a way that borders on permissionless and could go beyond the borders of maybe what you can do today. So they're still trying to figure that out, but there's more and more interest in that. I think importantly, right now the on-chain economy is big enough for financial institutions to pay attention to and to try and bring product into. And I think you're going to see more and more of that over the next few years.
So now that's going to go hand in hand with me showing you guys that this is already happening. So 4 days ago on the Securitized LinkedIn profile, it goes on to say, institutional credit meets Solana DeFi. ESSACred, minted by locking Apollo's accredited tokens and Securitized proprietary vault technology, will power the first leverage looping strategies on Solana through Camino Finance's Multiply and Drift Institutional. So here you see Drift, right? Remember, we'll highlight that in green. And you also see Camino Finance, right? We'll highlight that in green as well. Why is that important? Because if we head back over to the retail aspect of things, keep in mind, right? Lulu Protect, again, an integration with this Fuse Earn platform. They also integrated with Camino and Drift. You guys can see that right there, right? So we have large institutional players that tokenize real-world assets like Securitize. I'm pretty sure that they're the leading real-world asset platform in the game right now, if I'm not mistaken. They're partnering with these same organizations, Camino Finance and Drift, right there, right? And so what do they now offer? So Drift is now launching a looping strategy for ESSACred, broadening the DeFi utility. There's that key vocabulary word, DeFi utility, which I've tried to show you guys is for a fact a thing that enhances the utility of these digital assets that we have held for years now, of tokenized real-world assets, expanding assets to sophisticated strategies for on-chain users. Then if we kind of scroll up here, it gives you a link, and that link takes you right over here to this fundamental piece that was released May 21st, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, as of time of recording, it is the 26th of May, so this is only 5 days old, and it says, introducing Drift Institutional. Drift Institutional, Apollo, Securitize, and Drift. Drift teams up with Securitize to bring tokenized versions of Apollo's Accred to DeFi on Solana. As a part of this launch, Drift collaborated with Securitize to design a capital-efficient institutional pool, Accred USDT pool for Apollo's $1 billion diversified credit fund. Do you guys remember in the previous video breakdown, the gentleman had mentioned in part 1 that institutions are going to want to be able to provide liquidity.
And I think right now, banks and regulatory bodies are still a little scared of what this technology means for them. But I think over time, they'll embrace it and realize they can they can make money in different ways and use things that they're really good at, like lending, providing liquidity. All of those are important things, regardless if the speed of money goes up and the cost goes down.
Yeah. Well, now institutions can do exactly that. This is an institutional liquidity pool where institutions can come out and they can provide liquidity. Securitize is bringing Apollo's tokenized Accred fund to Solana, making it the first institutional DeFi product on the network. So this is happening for the first time ever. So all the naysayers on the internet that are like, oh, institutions are going to do this, oh, DeFi is still a scam, it's because they're not paying attention to these updated fundamentals and changing their mindset with the moving tides. Are you? Are you still stuck back in 2022? An individual that thinks that DeFi is a scam and that institutions are participating? Well, the devil's in the details. And they are telling you guys this straight to your face, that this is for a fact happening and taking place. Drift is proud to support this launch by building utility for Accred token holders through an institutional pool and leverage vault managed by Gauntlet. Both are the first for the DeFi ecosystem ever. Now, to end all of this and show you guys that institutions can participate in these looping strategies, if you click launch application, this is what it takes you to. So this is the homepage. It gives you an overview. You have the balances, you have the portfolio, the positions over here to the left-hand side. This is the whole entire user interface of this Drift platform. And if you come right up here to this Earn tab, you can see different opportunities. You can borrow, you can lend, you can amplify. You have liquid staking features here. What I want to take your attention to is where on this More tab, you click and you hover over and it says New, Drift Institutional, the gateway to institutional DeFi on Solana. And when you click on this tab, it takes you to this website. And it is almost a physical representation of some of the documents that we have in the Wealth 28 Club when we cover and talk about looping strategies, right? Drift Institutional, discover real-world assets on-chain with yield strategies. And it mentions the two first pilot partners, both Apollo and Securitize, gives you a little bit about them. But more importantly, what I want to show you guys is right here, zooming in, where it mentions how it works. Repeating the cycle to amplify returns, where users can mint Accred, they can convert it to S-Accred, they can deposit S-Accred, against it they can borrow USDC, and they can repeat and loop the strategy. This is huge. This is a physical representation to show you guys that these institutions can right now in the very moment participate in looping strategies in the DeFi ecosystem, where I rest my case. So for anybody that thinks that DeFi is a scam and that institutions are not going to be participating in this DeFi ecosystem to generate yield on their idle digital assets, they are dead wrong. This is happening for the first time ever. And here at CYPRX, we have been at the forefront and enlightening you all about this transformative wave. And regardless if you want to participate in DeFi now or not, maybe because you're skeptical about regulations, you're a little bit skeptical about exposing your crypto to these DeFi related protocols, I get that. But that does not mean to sideline your education. Educate yourself in the now, so that way in 6 months from now and a year from now, when the regulatory scrutiny has kind of subsided and we see more firm regulations put in place, you have the knowledge and the confidence to go out and participate in enhancing your returns. As always, many blessings to you guys. If you want to see how we are earning and generating yield on our idle digital assets right now, you can always head over to CYPRXtrading.com. We'd love to have you in the Wealth 28 Club. At a minimum, at least head over to the CYPRX YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribed, smashing that thumbs up button on this particular video breakdown, and watch the yield playlist. You can also follow me over on X, where I'm constantly posting documented proof that all of this is happening right now in the very moment. Updated fundamentals and documents that some of our researchers dig up from the freaking depths of the internet that nobody covers and talks about. You guys can tap into that information. If you want a little bit more of a sophisticated hands-on approach, definitely tap in with us in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club. With that being said, I rest my case, as always, showing you guys some of the realest information in the game. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.